Welcome to Café Con Leche with Liz
and Lil. Hey, sis.
Hey, Queen. How you doing?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm glorious.
I love it. I'm excited because this is episode 10. We have successfully done this for 10 episodes. Look, pat on the back for being so responsible. We're doing it. We're getting it done. We're slowly getting a following, but it's happening. More and more people are watching. Yes. I am so excited. Are you excited?
I'm super excited.
Yes.
Yes. And grateful for all of our guests for joining in.
I know. Thank you all.
Yes. Thank you.
And this episode 10, we're calling it the Abuelas episode. We've got two amazing abuelas joining us today. Who's coming on, Alyssa?
We have the brilliant Debra Cardona and the equally brilliant Candida Celaya.
Yes. I cannot wait to talk to these ladies. They're amazing.
Yes.
I want to grow up to be them.
Samesies.
So should we do this?
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Woo!
Welcome to Café Con Leche,
Hello.
ladies.
Welcome. Hi, guys.
Welcome. Yes, so good to
Hi.
have you both.
So good to be here. Yes.
Oh, thank you. This is episode 10,
Woo!
and we're calling it the Abuela episode.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
I love it. Where are you ladies joining us from? We'll go, Candida, you go first.
I'm over here in Great Chino, California.
Hey.
Sunny Dairyland.
Yes.
Dairyland. Oh, that sounds like my dream come true.
The land of cows.
Oh,
I love that. And Deb, where are you coming from?
I'm coming from LA.
I love it.
Yes,
I
yes,
love it.
Echo Parque.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes.
I love
California's in the house today. California,
Yeah.
Chicago,
Yes.
New York. We are cross-continental. Is that right?
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. New York, Chicago, LA.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Is that where you ladies have been quarantining the whole time that this has been going on?
Yes. I've been here in my house by myself.
Yeah.
And your puppy.
And my two dogs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had flown to New York in early March for an audition, just as things were getting really crazy. Like California was already a hot spot, and New York was rapidly becoming a hot spot. And I got back to California the day before they shut it down.
Oh,
Wow.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ay.
Crazy. Oh,
It's-
I almost forgot. I forgot to ask them how they like their coffee. I've been doing so well. I always forget. So we always ask everybody who comes on Café Con Leche, how do you like your cafe? Do you like it? Do you like it on the go? Do you like to take your time by a window? Do you like it served to you by a beautiful oiled man on the beach? Like, how do you like your cafe?
Well, that would be ideal.
Yes.
But I think I love to have it in the morning and just sitting and relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yes. Anything special in it?
Oh, just cream.
Why not?
Nothing else. I'm boring.
Classic. Not boring.
Yes.
Boring?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Deb?
It's the first thing I do even before I eat in the
Yeah.
morning. And
Yes.
I like to either like sit in front of the television and at the news, or if there's a little coffee shop that we go to sometimes, and we've been taking out, but they do have every once in a while we will sit on the patio and just zone,
Oh, nice.
which is nice. And I take my coffee black. I used to do light and sweet,
Okay.
and then I was getting myself off the sugar, and then I was like, let me get myself a little off the dairy, and now I take it black, and it is great.
Hey.
Coffee is good.
She's repping that Heights mug. I see you, Deb.
I
And also our Heights, what was it? Hold on,
Oh
let me
my
get this.
goodness. Yes.
Oh,
Production.
Oh,
I
wow.
love it.
Yeah, that was from There was a performance where they invited artists just to come and sit in the audience and
like
draw.
sketch artists.
Yeah. And so that was one of the many incredible things that,
That's great.
It was so cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
That was really cool. It was really cool to see to have artists just like watch your performance and then like put it together, like how they perceive you, everything, and the whole story. It was really beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, I love that. Come on, reppin'. Yes.
Bam!
So I know we mentioned that we were both in California, and we started to talk about the story of you coming back the day before it closed, Deb. How has this time been for you, quarantining during this pandemic? And have you found that the arts have been a saving grace for you, or have you had to take a step back from them? How has this been, Deb?
Yeah, for me, it's been, when the lockdown first happened, it was frightening. And so we couldn't think about anything except, okay, now I got to wash my groceries. Now I have to, what do I have to wear to go? How am I going to, so for a few weeks, it took a back seat. But then I started seeing people putting stuff like the cast of Chorus Line doing the first number on Zoom. I did like a couple of Zoom readings.
Right.
I wound up just doing a staged reading of a new musical, but they recorded it on Zoom and on our iPhones, and they did it under a SAG contract.
Ah, that's so cool.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So I've got like the Zoom set up, and then I've got my iPhone set up on a tripod behind my computer, and my husband's being my like director of photography.
Yes, hubby.
It was crazy. And so, also I've been watching like National Theater Live, on YouTube, and I learned how to engineer, because we have to do all my husband's voiceover gigs we jerry-rigged our bedroom.
Yes.
He does it out of the closet. And so I have to
not even multitasking. You're learning new talents.
Yes.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Diversifying. You're diversifying your talents.
That's great.
But I miss theater, and I miss actually being in the presence of other people.
Yeah.
And not to be able to do theater the way that we love for I don't know how long it's hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, 2 contracts recently got approved, or they're the first 2 contracts. I think it's production of Godspell and then a one-man show.
Yeah.
In the Berkshires.
I was going to say there were 2 shows in states that had low numbers and had maintained low numbers because they were really smart and stayed strict and all that goodness.
Right.
So that felt good when I saw that. I was like, oh. I mean, I'm glad that it's happening somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
But now with the way the theater and multimedia are coming together, it was already happening. I mean, you see it in every Broadway show, I'm something we haven't talked about yet, but I'm curious what that means for our unions. And I know many years ago, there was talk about, Actors Equity and SAG-AFTRA joining and becoming one large union.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know if this might be one of those changing factors for moving forward,
Yeah.
I think the future for the next year or 2 until things are really, really safe would be working out something with Actors Equity and SAG, so that we have just about everything we've done has been videoed. Maybe not broadcast quality, but a lot of stuff has. And it could be the way of keeping theaters from going under. If let's say it's like, I bought my Zoom ticket for $20 for the 8 p.m. Thursday show of this.
Yes.
I would definitely be up for that, because also I think it lets more people into the room.
Yeah.
Right.
Accessibility is key.
Accessibility is, come on now.
Right.
Candida, what about
Yeah.
you? What have you found that the arts have like been a saving grace? Have you had to step away from them and like be like, you know what, I'm not in the frame of mind to create right now?
Well, you know, it's interesting when the pandemic happened and we all had to close down. And I mean, it's a little different because I don't make my living doing theater or doing the arts. It's something that I just love to do. And
but she's fierce.
oh, you're so sweet. But I'm a teacher by day, and so we shut down schools, and so here I have a music room, and I've been playing drums and learning that a little bit more, and yeah, and doing, instead of just, you know, doing songs on the piano, downloading different music and trying different things, trying to keep the voice. But then I feel like there's so many days that I'm just kind of bummed. So nothing. I want to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And but the music, that does keep you a little more sane. And I was doing Streetcar Named Desire when we had to shut down, and we did a reading for the patrons of the theater, and that was fun. But it was more hilarious because of Zoom etiquette, and people don't know it.
Yeah,
so that was
it's
more
taken a little bit
entertaining.
for people to learn it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was more entertaining than our reading.
I love it.
I tell you what, it's too much. It's interesting that what you said about the voice. I haven't really been singing other
Right.
than the video that we did at the very, very beginning of the quarantine. So, you know, we're going on month, what is this, 4? Oh my gosh, 4 months.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been singing, but then I can talk about this now. I'm about to go into the studio to record an album for a show that I've been a part of for 5 years, which is really exciting. So that's happening
Yes.
Wednesday, Thursday, and then I think Friday. But like, I haven't been singing, so I feel like my voice is like, oh, you're about to go into the studio for X amount of hours. Are you going to lose your voice? Because you haven't been exercising that muscle.
Yes.
Like, what is the deal? And so I'm a little nervous. So I've been trying the last few days to like get in there. And on top of that, the character and the song are in a higher register for me. And when I'm doing the show, I'm just in the habit of being there because she's like 18. And so like, and I've just gotten used to talking lower because I'm not I didn't do a whole rehearsal process of like building into that. And so I was going over the music, was like, oh, this is high. Ooh. Oh Lord. Maybe we'll option down.
You know that show, you know that character. She's gonna come back.
I know, but I was like, literally two nights ago, I was like, oh, just like, oh no, wake up!
I love
Wake up!
My question is, when does it drop on iTunes so we can hear it?
I think it's supposed to be done by August. The musicians are in the studio right now. They just got done laying down all the actual musicians. And then we are all over the place. So there's 2 of us here in Chicago, 1 in Canada, 1 in, I want to say Maryland, 1 in, oh my God, what is the name of the place where all people who sing country go?
Texas,
Nashville, thank you.
Nashville.
Another one in Nashville, 1 in Denver, and then and like usually, so the show is six kids. I say kids because none of us were actually teenagers. 6 kids who do all the singing. So we do all the backup singing for each other and each other's numbers. Because of COVID and all of that, what they're actually doing is they're hiring, because the people who are doing the main mix and everything are in Alberta, Canada. So they are using locals to do all of the background singing. But then they're having us do our own songs, the leads on our own songs, anything that's like a little bit where you're all by yourself in somebody else's song. There's a monologue that goes into my song, so that is being done, like half of that is being done going into it. So it's really exciting, and it's being
That's
put
very
together from everywhere. And you
yes.
know, our producer is like, he doesn't have a hype. It's the little engine that could, this show, and I love it so much. And our producer doesn't seem to think he's going to make his money back on this thing, on this album. But I'm like, I think you will. I think you underestimate how many people love
The
this
following,
show. Because,
yeah.
we did it in 4 cities. And in every city, in almost all the cities, we sold out all of the time.
Wow.
And like kids in particular, well,
are we allowed to say the show name, or
sure.
or can we not?
I was going to say Kevin McCollum's not going to watch this. Please. It's Ride the Cyclone is the show, and it is a show that, it just hijacked our show today. It's a show that happened in Canada and then came here in 2015, and we started workshopping it then with my friend Rachel Rockwell as the director. And she took it from a show that was just a sequence of songs and helped the writers develop the story, which is a story about 6 kids who are part of a chamber choir who go to a theme park. They get on a roller coaster and they die. So the whole, I know, the whole show takes place, the whole show starts after that has happened. So there's this magical machine, this fortune-telling machine a la Big, that tells the audience, hey, we're in this old warehouse. You see all these pieces of the carnival that are like, because after this accident, the carnival went under. So like you see all these, and the broken track and all this. And he's like, these 6 kids never got to be who they wanted to be in life. So I'm going to bring them here tonight and give them a chance to essentially be that person and eulogize themselves. And then he tells us that one of us gets to come back. And so there's a level of competition about it. And what I love is like each one of them has their reason why they want to come back. And each one of those reasons is absolutely valid. Every one of those reasons is none of them are more important than any of the others, and so like that is it. Just I love the piece. It's this beautiful piece. And it talks about a life, the whole thing is about a life well lived, right? Like, what is a life well lived? And at the end, the kids are like, you know what, we didn't get to live for very long, but that doesn't mean that our lives didn't have meaning and purpose. Like we were still special even in our small town, having our quote unquote small lives, which aren't really small. My small life is just as important as the life of somebody who invents, the cure to COVID-19, like my life was. And so it's this really beautiful show. Anyway, I'm going to bring us back to the show.
Wow. Well, speaking about our lives and
so
also
sorry.
kids, what? That was amazing. And we will announce when it's out. Come on.
I know. We'll let you know, everybody.
Candida, how do you feel? So what do you have, I know this is not, we didn't list this in the questions, but talking about quarantine and being an educator, and now that's a hot topic right now of coming back to school. Do you have any opinions on that? How are you feeling about that?
Oh yeah. Well, when she just talked about that your small life matters, and that we are going back in August 10th is my start date.
Okay, wow.
And with masks and but how a lot of people want to go back. A lot of parents want, even elementary school teachers even want to go traditionally, instead of we're doing a hybrid where they're not in the class as long, and there's smaller classes and there's distance. But there's just so much unknown about this. And there is this thing that they like to call acceptable risk. Any kid, any teacher, any human being, any life is an acceptable risk as we go back into the classroom. And here in California, where it's raging now, it's as bad as it was when we closed down schools. So we're busy reopening schools in this, and it doesn't make sense to me. So it's frightening. But you have to work. And I do think that education is essential. We've been doing it virtually, but now we should have taken this time, I think, to really train teachers to do it the right way, because it was chaos leaving school in March.
You were flying by the seat of your pants.
Yes, absolutely. And so everybody was just, well, we'll put this up online. It wasn't really distance teaching as much as it was distance learning. Well, now we have the time. We had this summer where we could train everybody to do teaching and how it's done. I mean, there are plenty of schools that are online that are successful. So why didn't we follow that model? Instead, we're going back with hand sanitizer. And nobody, if you're really in the classroom, do you know what kids do with hand sanitizer? They use 7, yes, you know, so even they're around the school and they can use them, they're going to use them all day long. Every minute they pass them, we'll be out of hand sanitizer by 10 a.m. You know, I mean, it just, to me, it's too big of a risk because we don't know. I mean, and if you'll remember, the expert said it'll be better in the summer because it doesn't live in the hot weather. And now it's rampant.
Yeah.
So it's frightening. To me, I'm frightened, but it's what I have to do. I mean, but I don't think that any life is worth it, is an acceptable risk.
Yeah, that term just makes my stomach roll.
Doesn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's really frightening. And collateral damage, there will be collateral damage.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And when you've talked with the other teachers in your school, what have they all had the same concerns? Have you been in touch with each other and like
Right.
what works and what doesn't work? And
well,
you know.
it's really interesting because there are a lot of teachers, because we like to teach. We want to be back in the classroom and we want to have face-to-face time. And there are a lot of people who just want to go back to normal. The problem is, I want to go back to normal too, but we're not in normal times. So they did do surveys, and it was interesting. It was neck and neck with traditional and hybrid learning, where you are back in the class. So there are a lot more teachers who want to do that than they want to do distance learning. But there are still a huge chunk that don't want to go back in the classroom. So how do you satisfy everybody? I mean, you just can't. And there are parents who've got to go to work. It's like our jobs have become redefined as well, because now it's like, well, we need daycare for our kids, but I'm not daycare, I'm a teacher, you know, but I get it. There's just so many factors. A lot of teachers, though, they want to get back in the class.
Yeah. So how are they going to do, like, are the kids going to go from class to class like normal, or are the teachers going to go from class to class?
The kids will go class to class. And what's interesting is, well, in elementary, of course, it's different. How are you going? In California, we have a mandated mask law now. Okay. Anybody, you know, 2 and over has to wear them. So the school districts are making them wear them. How are you going to make a kindergartner wear a mask and be safe in that respect?
And for that amount of time, I mean, I know adults who go to the grocery store and after 30 minutes, they're like, I am over this mask.
Yes.
And, you know, but you're an adult, so you know better. You're like, I got to wear it. This is what it is. How do you tell a 5-year-old that, because kindergartners go to school for like, what, 4 hours, I think it is usually?
Oh gosh, they're full-time out here.
Oh, they're full-time, well, even more, like 8 hours? Yeah. Keep that kid in a mask for 8 hours? They're going to be like, I hate my life.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, that is
right.
It is.
I think that's going to be tough. I've moved to the high school this year, and I just think kids who have not seen each other, I mean, you know what it was like in high school. You hug, you love everybody, you want to see them.
You make out in corners.
Yes.
You know what? You don't have time in that heat of the moment to be like, did you stay completely quarantined this summer? Because I stayed completely quarantined this summer. Okay, we can make out.
Yes. Exactly. I mean,
gonna kill the mood.
Yeah. That's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, that is what's gonna happen.
I wonder, have they discussed, sorry, I know, like now we're like,
no,
on
this is
topic, but
great.
this
I love it.
you
I
know,
love it. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I wonder, how, I know you mentioned that there's going to be sanitizers, there's going to be masks, but you're in the school for at least 8 hours, I'm assuming, for the day. And that's not accounting for getting there early, prepping your class. It's not accounting for if you do anything after school activities, if you have meetings. So in my mind, you're there like the same. My mom's a nurse, so it's a 12-hour shift that she's in that full head to toe gear. So now I'm thinking about educators in general stepping in. Is it just going to be masks? Are you guys going to be required to wear more gear? How, I'm wondering about your perception as well.
Well, they are buying us face shields as well, but
Face shields are helpful.
yes, well, I'm going to go in full gear. And the thing is as a teacher, this is what's so crazy though, is you're supposed to circulate, right? So that you can help students at their desks. I don't think I'm going to be circulating too much because that's not 6 feet apart. And how am I going to help them? I don't know. So yes, I will definitely be geared up because I'm frightened. I mean, I want to mention that my cousin was a nurse out here. Yeah. She was the first healthcare worker to pass from COVID-19. Rosary Celaya. Thank you.
So
and
sorry, Candida.
Sorry. Thank you. But it's been like, she went back in to help people and this disease, that's why like it's personal and it really happens. It's real. And I don't think that people think it's real, but she went in to help people. It was like March 15th. She was great. Yeah. 5 days later, she's on a ventilator.
Wow. So
and then she died. And it was like, it was just so quick, so fast, and it happens and it's real and you can't mess with it. We don't know enough. It keeps changing.
Yeah.
Well, and people, you know, it's easier for people to ignore it when it's not affecting them directly, right?
Yes.
It's easier for them to be like, it's a hoax. It's a political, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know, I mean, which I can't even comprehend. I'm just like, look at these numbers. Look at all the people that have died. Like that doesn't compute with you. That doesn't go into your brain and go, wow, that's a lot of people, you know? And then, like, you know, I cannot. There was this woman I know from Utah. I was a teenager in Utah, who was like, I won't wear a mask. And then one of her dear friends is now in the hospital. And she's like, guys, this is serious. And you're like, I'm like, it was serious months ago when you were freaking out about wearing a mask.
Yes.
You know, I'm like,
yeah. This is causing so many changes. And again, Candida, my condolences, and
thank you.
We'll definitely light a candle for her tonight.
Thank you.
And dedicate this to her as well, however we can help, you know.
Yeah.
There's so much changing, and it's true. It's sad that it takes for some people that direct connection for them to take it seriously when there are left and right people who are risking their lives. That's teachers, that's nurses, that's police officers. There's so many people, you know, on the front lines. So it's so interesting then that, sorry, this is me not tying it back to the arts. As we were talking,
we're wrangling.
Even Deb mentioning like how we're even if you didn't want to before, you have to diversify. You have to learn new skills. You need to protect yourself in any way that you can, which is part of the reason. I mean, right now, keep the arts alive. There's so many movements right now trying to do that. And that's how we restarted this interview series. And I mean, that's why we're not open, you know, that's why we're going to be the last people to head back, artists.
Right.
I did want to ask before we move on to talking about it in the Heights, because I know, keep an eye on the clock as well.
I know. Like,
Deb, you
got 25 minutes.
I know. Deb, you recently, and I don't know if I want to make sure that I'm correct, but did some voiceover work for some shows coming up. I don't know if we can say anything.
I can't say what it is. I did actually I did voiceover work for a Edelman financial financial commercial that's running on the web.
Yeah,
And it's, you just hear my voice. It's like, with the market, it is the way it is now. Should I get out? I mean, you know, and then Mr. Edelman will, you know, like go on about how, you know, this is what you got to do. You got to stay in, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, and then I did my first performance capture.
That's what I want to ask. How was that for you?
Is, oh my God, it's so much fun. First of all, I had just, thank God, like just lost 30 pounds. So because you have to wear this all black thing, you kind of like get into it like this. And you have to wear like a you know, your gym clothes underneath it, and then you pull it on, and then they have all these like white photo balls. It looks like you're wearing ping pong balls all over your body, at like at your elbow and shoulders and here and different part, you know, here, and it's just it's really funny. It's like you're gonna go deep sea diving with ping pong balls all over your body.
Oh wow.
It's so crazy. And then they put this rig where there's a camera in front of your face.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you look like, you know, it's like, I'm gonna, you know, it's like, it's astronaut time. And then you're in this big empty room that has these special cameras all over it. And then the guys, the animators have the computers on one side of the room, and it is recording how you move. And then they're recording your voice. So when this thing is animated, it's my movements and my voice. I have no idea what I'm going to look like.
Yes.
That is so cool.
Well,
But it's going to be my facial movements and my body moving, and we're doing the blocking with people, and basically it's an empty space with other actors dressed like this and a few boxes. So it's like really play pretend.
Do they do the little dots on your face still, or is that something that they don't do
My husband
anymore?
has done that. As a matter of fact, when I get off with you, I have to put dots on his face for something that he's doing.
Yes. How was that interacting in this climate, you know, and even talking about future like film and TV contracts, and how we're going to make sure that the environments are safe for everyone to head back to start, you know, shooting television shows. How was that environment for you?
Well, I mean, I shot this at the end of January. So it was just before, it was a month before everything got shut down. So we got it. And it was, you know, it was funny because I was like,
under the wire.
Yeah, we did get it in under the wire, you know, but, you know, so it was, you know, it's a big, wide, empty room. And yes, you know, you're up talking to people. You kind of have to be careful because there's a camera here. And the first couple of takes, the woman I was talking to, we just went with the camera. We're like, oh my God, how expensive is this camera? I hope I didn't break it.
I love it. Yes.
You know,
you two are such incredible women. I mean, just like even talking, I mean, we didn't even think about talking about like education and educating, self-education as well. But to have both of you here is so amazing. Like, you are two, I think, prime examples and like pillars of what we all want to be, you know, in terms of like continuing our own personal education, but also imparting knowledge and love and passion onto others. As amazing, beautiful, talented abuelas, but not, look at y'all looking so fine up in here. Come on, the finest abuelas ever.
I'm an abuela.
Can you talk to us a little bit about your experience, your journey with In the Heights, how it came into your life? Your experience with the role or roles that you've played.
How it was different from other shows for you.
Oh my God. It was
I know.
I saw it off-Broadway. I auditioned for the off-Broadway production.
Hey.
All I knew is that it was a new musical by Chiara Alegria Judes. I already liked her plays.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't know anything about Lynn.
Yeah.
All I knew is that it was about our people in Washington Heights, and I had been waiting all my life for this. So I auditioned for it, but I didn't get it. But I wound up doing the first regional production in Utah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
At Pioneer Theater Company.
I'm afraid to ask, was the cast mostly Latina people?
No, they were Latino.
Yes,
Yeah.
way to go. Listen, my
Latino, African American. No, my
It's a
sonny
tricky
was
thing.
Anthony Ramos.
Yes.
It's a
You know,
tricky
I did it with
thing.
John Herrera and Natalie Toro.
Oh, good.
It was an amazing cast, and we just,
Pioneer's pretty good about that sort of thing.
yeah.
My experiences, and mind you, I was a lot younger, but like, you know, the first time I ever auditioned for West Side Story was in Utah, and they didn't cast me, get this, because they decided to make all of the Puerto Ricans, they cast Tongan and Samoan actors, because they all wanted them all to look like they were from the same place. And so I basically was not Puerto Rican looking.
They have
And I was
never
like-
been to Puerto Rico, and they have never seen my family.
I was like, wait, what? But I was born there. I have a question. You know, I was so mad about it.
Oh my God.
So mad about it. I was like, fuck you guys. I was like, but this is, you know, and at the time In the Heights hadn't come out yet, you know. So I was like, this is the only musical that has anything that's specifically like, we need Puerto Rican people. I'm here. I showed up. Like, what is happening?
I've never been able to do that show because I'm not a dancer. So there was nothing. And also I thought it was fun. It was just so cleansing and it's just invigorating to show people who I was and where I came from. You know, I've been doing this for 40 years and, you know, I play a lot of Brits and Russian Jews and all kinds and Italians and all kinds of people. And so thank you, Lynn and Chiara, for, you know, for like shoving everything to the side and really making this space for us. You know, I mean, when I saw it off Broadway, I cried through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thing. And I was like, I don't care what I have to do. I am going to do this show one day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, Candida.
Oh, you know, I know we only have a short amount of time, but
No, you're all right. We're doing good.
okay. I auditioned for this. It was the second national tour, and they came to LA looking for the leads, which was crazy. But I thought, you know, I just wanted to go. I mean, here I'm a teacher. I just want to go because I had this great experience in '91 auditioning for Miss Saigon, and I thought, this is everything I've ever seen on TV. So I wanted to just go have that experience. It wasn't that I really thought I was going to get cast or anything.
Yeah.
And then I got a call back. And I'm like, what? And then
Are you sure you're called the right person?
yes, exactly. It was like, what? And then there were like four callbacks. Then this final one, who's coming up these stairs but Tommy Kail and Alex Lacamoire? And I went, oh God, oh my God. And then so I sang for them. Tommy Kail pulls me aside because I think I'm just not getting this. I'm not getting it. And he says, Abuela is the heart of this show. So he wants me to make these adjustments. I made them, I guess, because the next thing we know, we were in this one room and we were all cast. And I went, what? Yeah. And I had to go to New York. And that means I gave up my teaching career to go do this because it was like, I never expected this in my life. This is not what I did for a living. I just went for the experience of auditioning. Yeah. And I got cast and I gave up my career, went to New York, and it was, unfortunately, I was not ready. It was something, I was old. I was set in my ways. It was very hard for me to go and be away from home and to just be in this environment. But I have to say that working with those people like Alex, Lack, he was so good to me. We worked every day. And you want to talk about losing your voice? I was a teacher. I sang every day, lost my voice. It was just it was an experience that I'll never forget, but that's how I came to it. And so from that, it's just been, it was very difficult for me, I think, to understand who Abuela was. And it wasn't until I think I did it out here and had the guidance of a really great director telling me, you need to do it this way. And I got it. But back then, it was very difficult. And let's just say creative differences.
Also, that song is epic.
It's so hard.
It's oh my God, it's really, really hard on your voice.
It's so hard.
Trying to get your breaths in, and because if you miss one, you're done.
And like, you know, with our production, with the first production I ever did, I feel like the abuela didn't have to do as much movement as she did, even in our production. Not that she was like doing a crazy amount of dancing, but she was walking over here, she was walking over there. The dancers take her hands, they push her forward. I was like, I swear to God, when I get old enough to do this role, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna plant myself right here, and you guys just move around me like a hurricane. Okay.
But it's the amount of storytelling. I mean, it's definitely. I feel very honored to have watched both of you dive in and bare your souls, bare not just your personal in this realm soul, but your generational souls. I think that that's a very special power that is required for the role. And both of you ladies have just been a ball of inspiration and learning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say,
go ahead.
I was just going to say that from this, though, from all of it, every production I've done, like, we have really become this familia. And we have, there are people who are still, we have this one, when I did a production in Anaheim at the Chance Theater, we Zoom, we still are in touch 6 years later. We are really a family. And it seems that somehow this play, doing a musical like this, like, everybody stays connected.
Yeah.
We really do. It's something about this musical. Because, I mean, we've all done a million shows, right? But there's something about In the Heights that keeps us all together.
Yeah, and the whole group, because I feel like with other shows, maybe you really connect with one person or 3 or 4 people, and those are the people that you keep from that show. But I feel like with this one in particular, it's like a complete unit that really loves each other. And it extends even beyond the cast. It extends to the crew. And like, you know, that final show in Portland, we brought the crew out on stage with us as we were like dancing that final bow, you know, because it's like, this is our family. We created this, and it's so solid. It's so good.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah. I didn't get to be with you guys for long, but because I just filled in for the first week of performances in Portland. But it was you know, everybody. Well, first of all, there were a bunch of people that I had worked with before, because that was my 5th production of In the Heights, and then I had done the On Your Feet national.
Yes,
show.
and there was a lot of On Your Feet in our
yes. And also we are our cast, the On Your Feet cast. We're talking to each other.
It's a Latino thing.
Messenger.
It's a Latino thing. We're just like, we'll never let go. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, speaking of reach out there, are there certain organizations or projects that you're working on, or movements that you want to highlight and support as viewers to donate if they can, or just tune in?
Yeah, Miss Deb.
I got a few.
Name them. Do it.
Okay. For 10 years, I'm also a dramaturg. So I would be production dramaturg. So I'd be like the theatrical historical consultant for plays for the Classical Theater of Harlem.
Yes. I didn't know that you were the dramaturg at CTH.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my partner has done a few shows there. So
That place has my heart.
yes.
You know, and I know, and this is, and you know, and they've never had it easy. So I don't know how they're getting through now. But Classical Theater of Harlem, I'll email you their information.
Yes, send us all and you know, everybody knows we're gonna link it below the video when it comes out on Instagram. They'll be on either side. So yeah.
Also, in LA, we have the Latino Theater Company in downtown LA, and we have Native Voices at the Autry. And I think both of them are taking, like, if you're any writers out there, they're doing, they're taking submissions for their readings.
Oh, I love that.
Send them scripts.
Yes.
And if you're a writer, from my dramaturg side coming out.
Go for it.
And you want to watch some great Latinx writers give Zoom lessons.
Yes.
There is something called the Latinx Superfriends Playwright Hour that's run by my friend Tlaloc Rivas, who is an incredible director and writer. And you can find all of them on YouTube. So if you want to see how Coleman Domingo works or Jose Rivera works, Jose Lopez, they all teach a Zoom lesson.
That's so cool.
Love it.
Wow.
Yes, thank you.
Miss Candida, you are up.
Well, my favorite place, it's called, it's out here, of course, Inland Valley Repertory Theater, IVRT. And I love them. I've been around with them. I support them. One of the reasons one of the co-founders, he cast me as Aunt Eller in Oklahoma.
Hey.
Now, when does that happen? But he just decided that I could do that. It didn't matter, that I didn't have to be this white woman to go play Aunt Eller.
Hello.
And so my heart has really been with them because it's just about your talent. And I love them, and they're having a rough time, and it's just, and he has always been, his name's Frank Manano, and he has always found, like, when I'm in this really depressed mode or something, and if I haven't been performing, he somehow gets in contact with me, and there's something he wants me to do. I swear he's like my theater angel.
Aww.
So I have big heart for IVRT.
Awesome. Yes.
I love it. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. It's been so wonderful having you on the show.
It's so good to see your faces.
It's great to see you. We love you so much. To all of our viewers / listeners, if you want to watch the video, I mean, if you're watching it right now, you can see it on Instagram, you can see it on YouTube. But if you don't have time to watch the video, you can only listen. Make sure you go onto Spotify or SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Café Con Leche with Liz and Lil. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you, ladies. And as always, we hope you always have your café exactly the way you like it. Bye.
Bye.
See you soon.